jetzt hört man nicht auch, das ist ja super. Hey friends and welcome back. I hope you're well and are taking care of yourself. Today is Monday, the first day of the last week of lectures for me. So it's going to be a busy week, including the last of my lectures and tutorials, summarizing all of the content, planning my study sessions on top of running and trying to maintain a social life. So my plan for today is to get everything organized as best as possible so I know what I'm getting myself into for the next few weeks. Doing a quick food prep, and then I also have a lecture to attend in the afternoon. I have already gone to the supermarket this morning to stock up on produce, and I'll get into prepping lunch for a couple of days, baking some granola and making some pesto right now. So I started this little food prep by making some granola, which I haven't made in a few months. I definitely crave it more in the summertime, but I wanted to use up a few half-used bags of nuts and seeds. So I made a classic granola with oats, puffed quinoa, hazelnuts, sunflower seeds and hemp seeds, cinnamon, salt, melted coconut oil and syrup, and baked this in the oven for around 30 minutes until crispy and golden. While that was in the oven, I was making some nourish bowls to have for lunch the next couple of days, which tend to be my go-to for lunches because I know it's gonna make me feel good, keep me full, and of course taste amazing with all of those herbs and spices. I added the veggies and chickpeas into the oven after the granola had finished baking, and usually I recommend waiting for 30 minutes or so before eating the granola to make sure it's nice and crispy, but I was hungry and therefore I had to do a quality check. So I put those roasted veggies into the containers with some cooked quinoa and greens as the base, and added a few fresh toppings as well, those being cucumber, radishes, fresh mint that I needed to use up from the week before, pickled red onions because I am still obsessed, a drizzle of tahini and some lemon juice to add a nice acidity and freshness. I set the containers to the side to cool down while making a quick pesto, once again to use up some ingredients from the cupboard. Into my food processor, I added a jar of sun-dried tomatoes, some pine nuts that I found the other day and wondered when I ever splurged on these. I also added in some walnuts, fresh parsley, but you can use basil if you have it, lemon juice, salt, some extra olive oil, and lastly some nutritional yeast to add a slightly cheesy flavor. I blended this until smooth, and since I was going for more of a spreadable and thick pesto rather than a runny one, the consistency ended up being perfect as is, so I didn't need to make any adjustments. This keeps very well in the fridge for a week, I would say, but from my experience it never lasts that long anyways. At this point, the granola had cooled down completely, so I put this into a big jar to have on hand for the weeks ahead, and that was my food prep done for the day. I've got the second salad that I prepped yesterday. Very happy to have this in the fridge. I'm trying out this new bread today. It's potato and spelt sourdough, I think. I just love bread, especially fresh bread. Moving on to dinner, I had quite an early one because I wanted to go to bed early and was craving the sweet and sour tofu that I've been making a lot recently. It comes together in under 20 minutes and I switch up the veggies depending on what I have on hand. Usually I go for bell pepper, red onion and garlic because I find these go very well with the sweet and sour sauce. I cut these into similar sized pieces as the tofu to make sure everything can be mixed together well at a later point. The tofu is frying in a pan with cornstarch until nice and crispy on all sides, and then I am removing this from the pan and adding the veggies I had cut up and sauté this for a few minutes until golden but not too soft. At this point, I put the tofu back in as well as the sauce I had made and let this bubble away until the tofu had soaked up all of that flavor and the sauce had thickened slightly. When it comes to serving, I had some rice to go with it, which is my favorite way to eat any kind of stir fry. And then of course I am topping this with some fresh parsley because I also love fresh parsley, if it's not evident at this point. So then Wednesday rolled around and I had an early morning lecture in person. So I got up at 6 and had an early breakfast before heading out. Obviously, that meant a quick meal, and I had that granola on hand, which I served with some thick soy yogurt and sliced banana. I am having a real moment with bananas right now. I always thought I didn't like bananas except in banana bread because of the texture, but now I do, and I'm really making up the lost time, it seems. It is just too early for me. Let's go! I just got back from uni. I ended up being there for about an hour after my lecture with my friends, just getting some more work done, and then my friend and I decided to actually take a walk home because it is such a beautiful day today. It is so warm and very sunny, so we wanted to make use of that weather to spend some time outside, which was lovely. Now I've got a toasty for lunch. For the filling, I just mashed together some chickpeas with some of that pesto that I made on Monday and then just toasted this in a sandwich maker to heat it up. Then I also have a side salad with sauerkraut, radishes and balsamic on top. I always do a lot of balsamic when I'm doing a toasty because then I can dip the toasty in the balsamic and that is delicious. That pesto is so good. Currently making about 300 flashcards, and that is just for one course. I am clearly very excited for this. Anyways, I've got some water. I've got some cornflakes. It's gonna be fine. It's probably gonna take me like 4 hours, but you know, I've got nothing else to do. See you at dinner. So for lunch in between my study sessions, I've just made a really quick kind of salad bowl. And then for the dressing, I've made the dressing by combining the red pesto I made and some lemon juice. So this is just gonna go all on there. I could talk about that pesto for hours. That's lunch. Very simple, very quick. After eating this, I'm gonna go back to studying. I have 3 more Pomodoro sessions, 50 minutes each, and then I'm done for today. Let's do this. I am currently in between my 2nd and 3rd Pomodoro session, but I just needed a quick snack. I'm trying out this new spread that I've had in the cupboard for a while. This one. It's like a vegan Nutella replacement. So I just have it on some bread with banana and a bit of salt. And I already noticed the texture isn't very similar to Nutella. It's more sticky in a way because it's made from dates. Let's see about the taste. Honestly, as far as I remember Nutella, the taste is actually very similar. That is really good. That is also just such a childhood classic. And then another quick thing I wanted to show you. In my first study break, I made this nut butter because I'm still trying to kind of get through all of the half-used bags of nuts and seeds in my cupboard as part of the cupboard clean out that I'm doing. So I made this nut butter with pistachios, cashews, walnuts, and sunflower seeds. And now all of these are used up, which is nice. I've got this jar and then another one. The combination sounds kind of random, but honestly it's nuts and seeds. Like, they just taste delicious. So I'm going to be having that probably for breakfast tomorrow morning. I crave certain very specific dishes every few months, and lentil soup is definitely one of them. I've noticed I always reach for this after a long day of studying or working, when I want something that is super nourishing, flavorful, and done in one pot. So to start, I'm frying up an onion in some olive oil until softened, before adding in carrot, sprouts, grated ginger, grated turmeric, and some garlic. And season this very simply with some vegetable broth powder and black pepper. Add the brown lentils, some water to cover, and then leave this to cook for around 10 minutes. I actually did a quick stretching session while this was cooking because my body was just feeling so stiff from sitting at my desk all day. Once the lentils were tender, I finished the soup with some fresh parsley and lemon juice, of course, which tend to be my go-to for finishing any type of stews or soups. This honestly hit the spot, just what I needed after a long study day. If you've been around for a while, you might have picked up on my habit of making pancakes on Friday mornings. And because I woke up quite late and had a slow start to the day, I took my time with making these for breakfast. The ingredients for the batter are in the caption, as always. And for serving, I always like to spread some kind of yogurt onto my plate because I find it adds a nice creaminess and freshness to the pancakes. And then I also decided to spread that homemade nut butter onto the plate as well. The batter made 6 good-sized and thick pancakes, so I assembled them like so, topped them with some defrosted blueberries, a sprinkle of salt to finish as always. And these pancakes turned out super fluffy and delicious and were a great way to start pretty chill day at home. Good morning and happy Friday. It is finally the last day of the work week. I am so excited for the weekend. However, I do have to say my scheduling for the week turned out to be very accurate because I wasn't able to finish all of the tasks I had set myself to do yesterday evening. So today is actually not going to be very busy in terms of uni stuff, but I do want to take a few hours today to do a proper deep clean of my apartment, because believe it or not, that is a big de-stressor for me. So I'll put on a good playlist or podcast maybe, and I'll get to cleaning up this place. Well, that is not a bad workday lunch. And I've also now eaten the entire loaf of bread. Okay, so this is the cake. It looks great and smells great. I'll see if it also tastes great tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling quite tired now, quite sleepy. It's definitely been a very busy week, and even though I love deep cleaning my apartment because it makes me feel really good mentally, it's obviously not very restful in that way, so I'm gonna make sure to take some rest tomorrow. But for tonight, I'm gonna hop on a call with one of my closest friends who lives abroad. We're gonna do a nice FaceTime date, and before I do that, I'm gonna make myself a really comforting dinner so I can eat that while we're catching up. I'm really excited to hear how she's been doing because I haven't talked to her in quite a while, so I'm excited. And I'm gonna make myself the coconut ginger tofu that I've been loving. The recipe is in my last video, the lunches in 20 minutes video, so it's definitely gonna be a quick one, which is great because I don't really feel like doing anything too special tonight. And that is probably also gonna bring us to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed and got some meal inspiration for quick and easy meals, maybe got some cleaning motivation, or maybe you're just feeling relaxed now. Anyways, I hope this video made your day a little bit better. Feel free to leave your feedback in the comments. I always love reading what you think. And until then, I will see you very soon.